Hey, welcome back, Carrie. Thank you for stopping in. I've been thinking about our last session, and I'm excited to follow up with you on a few things we discussed last time. So just tell me before we get started, how's your week been? How are all your classes going?
It's kind of up and down getting into the semester,
Mm-hmm.
so worried about finals and projects and all that stuff with everything else that kind of we talked about last time. I know parents are kind of pushing me on. It's like almost you got to start thinking about what you're going to do after school. That's kind of what brought me in last time.
Yeah.
But I started thinking about all this stuff he gave me, and kind of reading through it. It started making you think about some of those bigger questions. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of excited to really look at this, all this paperwork he gave me, and kind of make sense of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that school's going well in all your classes, and I know you've kind of been having a hard time with all of this, and you're feeling pressured. But so hopefully today we can get some more answers, and just give you some ideas of what direction you would like to go. So last time you were here, we talked about possible career options, and I know you weren't too sure about what you wanted to do. So I sent home the self-directed inventory with you, and we'll just call it SDS for the rest of the time. So, but don't worry about the results right now. We'll go over that in a little bit. So just tell me, how did you feel taking this? Do you feel like you answered all the questions?
Yeah, it was kind of weird at first because it's asking you questions and you're like, why are they doing this? But I did make sure I made sure to kind of take my time, take it seriously. Gotta kind of start taking stuff seriously, I guess. So yeah, I took
Yeah.
it seriously. Looked at the questions and some of them were kind of confusing, honestly. But it it was weird kind of thinking about some of that stuff. It's questions you never really thought before, but now that you
Kind
guys
of brought
start,
them to your attention.
yeah. So it definitely kind of started changing my thinking a little bit, and I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but I mean it happened.
No, that's a great thing. I mean, we're trying to get on track here, so I'm glad you took your time and you focus on answering all the questions honestly. So, well, as we go on today, hopefully I can clear up a few things about the inventory and all the questions you have, and then just for you to understand all of the results more clearly. Um, so, you ready to dive into this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, first we're going to go over some vocabulary that you'll hear when we talk about all the results. So, before going into it, we look at the results looking at the Holland hexagon model, and this is basically just a visual aid of all the different personality types.
Oh, okay. That's just
Um,
stuff at the end.
Yeah. So the first term we're going to go over is congruence. So basically, this is just how well your Holland code and your personality matches with the occupation code or job code that's like listed in the booklet that I handed to you.
Oh, okay.
So for me, for example, I'm a very social person. I'm a counselor, so I, interacting with kids all day. I like to be around people, all of that. And my number one letter is social. So that shows a high congruency.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so let's say if you worked in an office and you sat at a desk all day, but you were a very social person, you would see that that's not a very high congruency. That's very low.
Yeah, I get kind of bored.
Because would a social person be,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we have consistency. It's the next term. And this is where you'll really look at the hexagon model. So basically, so for my code, we'll use an example, is SIE. So a high consistency is when the two letters are next to each other. So social and enterprising. So since my first two letters are social and investigative, you can see that they're across from each other, but there's only one between them on the model. So that shows a medium or average consistency.
Okay.
So if they're diagonal, And across from each other, like social and realistic, that shows very low consistency. Did you have any questions so far?
No. Be interesting to see where my stuff comes up on this.
Okay, so what was the code that you got from your results?
So mine, it was S was number 1,
Okay.
R, and then A.
Okay, so tell me just a little bit. Why do you think this was S was yours or social was your top
I mean,
letter in your code?
I'm, always like hanging out with my friends. Working with other people in classes. It makes things a lot easier. But just hanging out, doing stuff with people. It's something I kind of like to carry on. It just makes more sense. It's when I'm happier. I think I'll be able to do a lot more. Yeah. So I just feel I like being around people. So that's what I think. Social is probably my first one.
Yeah, and that's perfect. Any class that you're interacting with a lot of people.
Okay.
Um,
You can see that.
so you would work in a type of job like what I do is counseling or any type of helping professional field or anything like that. So then tell me about realistic. Why do you think that was your second highest?
I know I like kind of like putting things together, taking them apart, seeing how they work, kind of getting hands on with it.
Yeah.
When you put something together, you just look and you're like, yep, I did that. So it's just fun, putting stuff together.
Awesome. So a class like that you could take here would be like shop
Okay.
or something where you're hands-on, building, anything like that. And then your last letter was artistic.
Yeah.
So do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, I'm in band right now. I think I'm pretty good. Do a lot with that. So I really get into the music we work with. So kind of seeing the ins and outs of how that works, and I guess it also kind of ties with my social. I guess because I get to hang out with some people in there. We get to kind of a really good group of people I play instruments with. So yeah, I mean. Yeah, it's mainly just the music really draws me there.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I noticed when I was looking at your daydream occupations that you listed, the letter A appeared in 3 of them. So you have music therapist, writer, and then movie reviewer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I mean, like, what kind of stuff could I do with this? Like, is this permanent? I mean, it's kind of weird how, like, is it bad that my social is way across from the realistic?
No, not at all. That's completely normal. And there's a lot of cases like that. And so for you, if you're going to join some occupation where it doesn't really match your Holland code, I mean, that's not set in stone.
Okay, well, that's good.
Because I know a lot of people that have way different codes that don't even relate to their job, and they still love their job. But even though some of their interests aren't in that job, they make it up in different ways with hobbies outside of their occupation.
Okay. So is it pretty good though that social and artistic are right next to each other?
Yes, that's very good. That shows a very high consistency.
Okay.
And so some jobs that would have that. Do you have your booklet that I can look
Yeah.
at?
There we go. Oh, so, I don't know, let me see.
So you could look for A and S being the first 2.
A and S. Okay. So, let me see.
Here's one.
Oh. So,
Drama teacher, art teacher, artist.
playwright.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of neat how the jobs match up in there.
And you have interest in some of those listed right there?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of them. I mean, I like to write, so I mean, never thought of playwright, but that's something that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, and just remember, this is just the beginning part of you exploring all the different career options. So for next time, I would like to start setting up just a bigger plan for you. So we could set you up with interviews with people that have let's say jobs in this area, or we could set up some shadowing opportunities for you just to kind of get a better look at what you'd be interested in. Would you be interested in doing something like that?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I'd be interested in that.
Okay, great. So yeah, we'll set that up for next time.
Okay.